Quick service restaurant chains are struggling with staffing challenges. Last year, turnover hit 74%, and the food services sector recorded the highest quit rate at over 5%. To understand what's driving this trend, we have Joshua Seacrest of Paradox. So, Joshua, why are these recruitment challenges intensifying for QSR chains?
It's always been a really competitive industry, as we've seen from high turnover. But what we're really seeing now is more technology being used by both employers as well as candidates. The most recent data that's coming out from Indeed is that a candidate is applying to 15 jobs at the exact same time. What that means for you as a restaurant owner operator is you're typically competing for that candidate against 14 other possible restaurants or employers. And so the need there is to be really, really fast to be able to get the best quality candidate, as well as to make sure that your restaurants remain staffed.
You mentioned technologies earlier. Does this include adopting AI-driven hiring strategies?
Absolutely. There's been a massive generation skip within the types of technologies we can now use for staffing and hiring within restaurants. A lot of that's driven by AI, but overall it's just automation. So since our managers are typically the ones doing the hiring within our restaurants, what this technology is now allowed to do is allowed for both screening, interview scheduling, as well as offers and onboarding to now be fully automated. That really allows for the manager to just focus on interviewing the candidate. And it's taking about 90 to 95% of the workload off the manager's plate. It's allowing for companies to start to hire in 21 days or hire in 3 days versus 21 days, which is just a massive difference and is really making an impact on both cost savings as well as driving revenue.
And what has changed that pushed more brands to adopt AI-driven hiring strategies?
What happened, really two things. So during COVID, so many restaurants saw the impact on top and bottom lines from understaffing. And so it allowed for some of the biggest brands. I was the head of global talent acquisition at McDonald's to adopt really early some of this new emerging technology at the time. So that's, the AI and automation. It allowed for some pretty massive impact and gains. We went from 21 days to hire down to 3 days to hire. But most importantly, we were returning back to our managers about 5 hours per week. So that was part one. The second piece is just the generational skip, the massive jump in technology for automation and AI because of the sophistication is also allowed for that technology to be cheaper as well as easier to adopt and easier for managers in particularly to be able to use.
And how are QSR brands benefiting from these strategies exactly?
So first is hours back. If your manager is getting 5 to 7 hours back per week, how they're leveraging those hours is typically onboarding new employees, which leads to better retention results. They're spending more time on the business and they're spending more time with customers, which is all what we all want. The second piece is speed to hire is really translating for a lot of restaurant groups into better customer experience results. Those customers are experiencing your brand fully staffed more often at kind of peak productivity. Drive-through times and ticket times speed back up when you're fully staffed. Across QSR, research is saying that that's between $300 and $1,200 per day recouped if you're staffed versus understaffed. So that's per day. So revenue that's driving there. And the last piece is the cost savings that are coming from this because this technology makes it so easy to apply, so quick to be able to respond to candidates, and how fast it is to be able to interview them, most within 24 hours. We're seeing that job advertising spend is going way down. So typically decreases by about 50% in spend.
Thank you so much for your time today, Joshua.
Thank you so much for having me.
Once again, that was Joshua Seacrest, Vice President of Marketing and Client Advocacy at Paradox. For more news, visit qsrmedia.com.au.